Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is EV Comics. The first stream did not happen. You did not see it. It never existed, okay? The first stream did not exist. I have already purged it from existence. The only way someone saw is if they clipped it or something. If they screen recorded that shit. Because I do not. I blundered so bad, and it's because my brain is not working. My brain is actually just not working because I'm sick, and I want to do the stream now as opposed to later, so that by the time it's been a week uh, that Volume 6 was released, I will be sick probably because I'm already starting to get it. So I want to go ahead and get this out of the way and do some talks about Volume 6. I also want to talk about Volume 1 right here, which is going to launch with some remastered art, some even more touched up art. Physically, in your hands, you can buy this. Go over to Indie Crowdfund and check out my campaign. There's a couple other stuff. The Wheelers, look, the Wheelers, Divinity Comics, they specialize in parodies, particularly of the sexy kind. But if that's not your thing, there is some more original stuff up here as well. Such as, look at this, Little Miss Steel, Volume 1. Check that out. Isn't that really cool? So check that out. Just launched this, and I'm really excited to see what I can do with this. I'm hoping to get 100 copies. If I don't, oh well. I can do Kickstarter or Indiegogo. I can try something else. If it works, great. Then I don't have to restart it on anything. That's awesome. If it works the first time, great. If it doesn't, I'll try it one more time somewhere else. And if it doesn't work then I'll keep making it digital. This is not going to stop. Like, Global Comics is not going to stop unless I secure some kind of, like, big deal or something. But that's a pipe dream. That will never happen. But the idea is the digital series will continue while the physical series will catch up through these crowdfunding sites. And if all goes according to plan, Indie Crowdfund, I really hope this works out. I'm going to start promoting this stuff on other people's streams and in other comic creator spaces and try to get this rolling, try to get this supported and backed. So I am excited. I am very excited here. And there's a couple of questions, right? There's a couple of questions as far as like what actually is why now, why Indie Crowdfund, and why why sell a physical copy now. The main reason is I wanted to do it back in 2024, February 2024. I just finished it, the 28th. I finished Volume 1, the first iteration of it. I finished it, and the next day, Rip Ascend gets announced. Now, I have a video talking all about why Rip Ascend I feel like is a failure as far as what it was trying to do, at least what it was advertising it was trying to do. I'm not very fond of it, and but I'm not going to talk about it that much. The main thing you need to know is that didn't work out, and that's fine, whatever. I ended up releasing it digitally on Global Comics, and I've accumulated a following that I wouldn't have gotten if I never released it, for sure. But if I tried to release it physically without much of a following, Dead on Arrival wouldn't have worked, and I probably would have just ended up doing it digitally anyway. But the fun thing about this is that, there is a good following on this. I mean, within not even a full week, there's already almost 700 views on Volume 6, which is way faster than Volume 5 is accumulating. So, I mean, even Volume 6 is beating out Volume 5, which is interesting. And what I think is interesting to see with Global Comics is that now they've got Marvel and DC on here. It's going to be harder for indie comics to compete. It's going to be harder for indie stuff to actually stand out whenever they got freaking Marvel, including Star Wars, and DC and all that, the Absolute series, all that on here. Transformers as well. I mean, there's just so much. And, you had to have premium to read most of them, but it is going to be hard for premium level indie comics to succeed. Whereas the stuff that's free, like mine, there's no barrier to entry at all. Like, anyone can just read it, right? And I feel like free is the way to go for me going forward. Not to say that I won't do paid comic spin-offs in the future. But as for the main series, digitally, it's staying free. If you want it physically, go to Indie Crowdfund and follow this campaign. And stay tuned for that, because there's going to be more information being released about that as far as when it's launching and whatnot. But that's the idea. That's the real short part about it that I wanted to get out of the way with Volume 1. I'm going to start talking about Volume 6 after I eat some chili. It's so good, man. Mom's chili, man. I went to her house. She said, go get you some chili. So I went to her house, picked up some chili, ate it for lunch. My bowels instantly regretted it. And here I am, eating it again. So if I end stream all of a sudden, you know why. That's all I'm going to say. Real quick, I want to look at the Christmas special. I didn't expect this to get a lot of views. It's got barely any at all. Totally understandable. It's only 4 pages. With a reused cover art of a V here. And, there's not really much to this. It's just funny. It's just like a quick little funny thing. Short action scene versus this dumb character. You want to talk about parodies with the Wheelers. This is my parody. This is my parody here. This is King Koopa from the 90s Super Mario Brothers series in the form of a fat, rotund man with mechanical claws coming out of his shell, almost hunched back. It's goofy, bro. It's goofy, and that's the point of it. The point of this was to be goofy, and to rhyme. To rhyme was also the goal. So yeah, I mean, this was just a little fun thing I threw together, literally in 2 days, and I'm happy with it. I don't regret doing it, but I knew it wasn't going to do very well with views, mainly because it also came out on Christmas Day. If time worked out, I would have done this like a week before Christmas, but I was still working heavily on like the final pages of Volume 6, and I really wanted to knock those out. Very tempted to release Volume 6 before the new year, but I said, nah, let's wait for the new year. Let's make it a milestone day, and let's make a big thing out of it, right? So I decided to wait, and then that gave me a couple of days to work on something else, which is the Christmas special. One shell of a Christmas. Excuse me, I uploaded this Christmas Eve. Not Christmas Day, my bad. But yeah, had I have uploaded this like a week beforehand, I think the views would be better. Because now it's out of season, right? Now no one's going to be clicking on this, unless they're just bored. Or they're so excited about Little Miss Steele that they want to see more. And speaking of seeing more Little Miss Steele, let's talk about this cover art here. I talked about this briefly in a previous stream. This artwork was a commissioned artwork. Very good. I love this style. It's kind of like Darkest Dungeon. Have you ever seen that game? Very cool. Very cool art style from that game. And this artist that knows a mutual friend of ours, I was introduced by that mutual friend, Voices Extremis on Twitch. Go follow him. And yeah, I'm so glad he introduced me because this artwork is so good. Sure, I could have drawn my own cover, as I've done all the others, with the exception of cover B of Volume 1, which was also commissioned art. But I want to get excuse me, commissioned covers because I want to support other artists. I want other artists to like showcase their work, and then from this, from doing this commission for me, who knows? Maybe the commissioned artists are both of those that I've used are going to make their own comics now because they feel confident in doing it now after doing this. Maybe I just put their feet in the water. You know what I mean? And I hope so because both of them would be very good at doing this. That's Kim Kai Drawings on Instagram and Twitter and Tumblr and all that. And then the other artist is Danu DL Art. Danu DL Art. Also on Twitter, Tumblr, Blue Sky, whatever, and Twitter. So, I think it's Twitter twice. My brain is not working, guys. I am sick. I'm feeling it. My brain is not working. But you know what? I get to stay home tomorrow, which is nice. I don't gotta go to work at least. So I can take off sick days, which is nice. Not everyone gets that luxury, and I'm very thankful for that. Anyway, let's go ahead and start talking about Volume 6. So I want to talk about some artwork stuff as I go through it, and also talk about like some lore stuff, because I'm going to actually talk about the story of this as well. So if you have not read it, I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to go read it. Click the link. I'm gonna put the link right now. Let me do this. Go read that. I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to click it and pause this video. While I eat some more chili. Okay. Everyone good. Everyone caught up. Cool. Let's get into it. So, the previous volume, or the second to last volume, volume 4, Little Miss Steele was able to use her light beam power, which her mother has. Which you get to see in a flashback, her mother showing her how to do it, and then little kid V is like, I don't know if I could do it, Mom. And she never did it. But in this moment of life or death, V locks in, as the kids say, and shoots the light beam. Now, the thing about this is that she doesn't really know how she did it, right? She did it in Volume 4, but now here in Volume 6, she doesn't really know how that happened. And the reason why she didn't figure it out in Volume 5, if you haven't read Volume 5, what are you doing here? Go read that too. Very important to understanding what's going on. Read all the volumes. So she's trying to figure that out. Chester. I drew this meme of Chester a while back, and I said I have to. I showed it to like a couple of people and like a couple of different Discords as well, and the response was very funny. Everyone really liked this, and I said, you know what? I gotta work it into the comic somehow. So this was not planned. This was not written into the story originally. But I said, you know what? I'm gonna have it where Chester locks in and is serious for like the whole for most of the comic, right? So starting here already on page 3, you've got this stupid face, which by the way, admittedly is a traced face of the guy who says, "My name is Skylar White, yo," and it's got like the vine boom sound effect every time he does that with his face. I don't even know how to describe it. Is he mewing? Is he mogging? What is the word? Like what Gen Alpha word would describe this? I don't know. But anyway, V is frustrated about not being able to do it. You got Cutie over here taking a poop. I just wanted to point that out. The band just kind of hanging out here in the base. I'm really happy with this base artwork. I drew this all the way back for Volume 2, and I drew it with the purpose of like using it as like an establishing shot. Because what you'll find with cartoons, specifically 2000s cartoons, is every single episode of Teen Titans there's a wide shot, a super wide shot, what I like to call an establishing shot of Titan's Tower in front of the city on that island. And that is like almost, I want to say like maybe like a fourth of the episodes start on that shot. It's a good bit of them. If it's not a fourth, it's pretty close. And all of the episodes that take place in the city have that shot, or at least a form of that shot in the episode. And I'm trying to replicate that with trying to replicate the feel of that with these big establishing shots. And I've done that. I've used like this background of the base here a lot of times so far already. But I'm also drawing new backgrounds. Like all this stuff back here, all of this brand new. None of this was shown before. The background with the beds up here, which by the way, the little details. Chester's bed, obviously the blanket is yellow to show that it's Chester's, but it's also a little more wrinkly than Amy's, which is perfectly made. So you got all this stuff, little details like that, environmental storytelling, but you've also got different parts of the building. You got this wooden wall here where Chester was holding up the target. You've got another wooden wall over here where some more target practice can be done. You've got the couch behind him, the couch right here. So after he does the Indeed, Chester moves over here, sits down on the stool at the table, and starts playing guitar. And you got just stuff like this. I'm trying to, every time I draw a new comic, I'm always trying to add more background stuff, more drawings of the characters that I can manipulate to have like different facial expressions and stuff like that for close-up shots and whatnot. And I'm always trying to add new stuff as I go. But yeah, what's up, Nomad? What's up? I hope you're feeling better. You apparently gave me the sick, because now I am sick. I don't know how you did it through the internet, but you did. Anyway, back to this. Some people might read this and say, well, boy, this plot point about LeJohn being the son of a supervillain kind of came out of nowhere, right? Wrong. Let's go back in time to Volume 2. This was, excuse me, late 2024 when this one dropped. Let's go. Let's skip through this a little bit. What's this page here? Madame Yvette. Interesting. So, all the way back in Volume 2, you see LeJohn delete this data entry. And then, also in that volume, I hate to skim through it again, but I forgot to show this. Also in this volume, you actually get to see Madame Yvette. You actually get to see her all the way back in Volume 2. Granted, it's a different design, slightly different with the hair. But this is her. You get to see her all the way back in Volume 2. I shoved it right in front of your face. And a lot of people either forgot or didn't notice it. Didn't put those things together. Now, some people did. And for you, thank you for paying attention. Those are more likely the people who have been binge reading this stuff. Like, as it's now that Volume 6 is out, there's people that are binge reading the entire series. Thank you for that. And you probably caught on to this very easily because it's fresh on your mind. But for people who read that all the way back in late 2024, it's now beginning of 2026. I can understand why you forgot it. But yeah, you get John acting awfully suspicious about all this stuff. And V's noticing it. She's talking about it and everything. And he's basically saying, he's using the excuse that it's, he's just worried about what happened to V last week. She almost died. She had to have Lady Lake enter her mind to stop her from drowning in grief. So that was a pretty big deal. And LeJohn is not lying here, but he's not telling the whole truth. He's not telling everything, right? Insert funny dog and serious Chester again. But yeah, this is kind of... I caught on it because of the hair. Okay, well... Butterbean is going crazy. Hush! Hush, Butterbean, hush! Quiet, attack dog. Quiet, my vicious attack dog. Anyway, by vicious attack dog, I mean, my dachshund. With 7% of Chihuahua, and that 7% is loud, let me tell you. Anyway, Nomad says caught it because of the hair. That's funny. They do have the same hairstyle, obviously. But That's a visual thing. If you look at that, yeah, no one could say shut up Butterbean except for me. She's mine. Only I can give her commands. Anyway, the this shot right here, I wanted to kind of do a little bit of world expanding or world building, I guess. This is the same area that she was in Volume 2 fighting Stonehold in that climactic final battle. This is the same area. So she's back in this neighborhood, and I was very tempted to have it take place in the same warehouse. It would certainly save me on drawing time, but I said, nah, let me put it in the same area, but a different spot, right? So you've got this little compilation of buildings here, run down, abandoned factories and stuff like that. This is a very sparse side of town where not really much is going on, which, if you wonder, why are there any people on these streets? That's because these streets are barren, bro. These streets are long forsaken. This is a very forsaken side of Phoenix, Arizona. Which, by the way, I'll be going to Phoenix, Arizona next month. I'll be going. And part of that's because I've got friends there. The other part is I really want to see the Grand Canyon. And two, I want to do more visual research in person for drawing Arizona. I want to get better at drawing this place. Because it's not actually where I live, believe it or not. So, trying to get better at that. I'm going to do some walking and just examining the streets, examining the suburbs, the rundown side of things, the nice sides of town. I'm going to do all kinds of photography and research with that. And I'm going to hang out with friends. But anyway, we get our first reference here. It's two references. Living Dead Girl. This is a title of a song by Rob Zombie. Very 2000s coded. And then this is straight up just Britney Spears as a zombie. This is one of her outfits that she performed live in. And I basically just wanted to put zombie Britney Spears in here because I thought it'd be funny. So then we get to the moment. This is one of the pages I've shared the most out of all of them. I'm very proud of it. It's a great sequence for it's a great fight sequence for this, and it's got a lot of character immediately right off the bat. And so like you get a lot of, different dialect here, right? Different speech patterns, different words that you would never usually hear because she's Cajun. She's got the Cajun accent. She's got the Cajun vocabulary. And I was very tempted to go even further with this, but I said, nah, let's keep it readable. Let's keep it to where you can easily understand it. I don't want to make it a chore to read. So, she is Cajun, and she was teased at the end of Volume 5. Originally, those 2 pages of her in prison, her breakout of prison, was not in the script. I added those because I felt like the volume was kind of short anyways. But I also wanted to not just leave you on the cliffhanger of will Raymond get caught. Now the cliffhanger is, who is this villain, and can V even stop someone like this? Because she looks very threatening, very dangerous. And so, this first fight scene kind of in this alleyway establishes that, no, V is kind of out of her league here. Yeah, she's gotten a lot better. Physically, by the way, V has been drawn with a lot more muscle. Her proportions are different too. Her shoulders are broader. Her arms are bigger. Her waist is a little bit thinner. And all over the place, there's muscle lines that I didn't draw there before. And what I've done is I've taken like some older artworks of her. Like this pose is not new. I took an old artwork of her doing this pose and then redrew it to better reflect my art quality today, but also to show the differences. And I wanted to do that for this because at this point, we're halfway through the series. Or at least halfway through season 1 of the series. So she's obviously made some physical improvements. And later on, a couple more, probably in season 2, I'll do some more updates to these drawings. I'll probably redraw them again, with either more muscle detail or just some more slight, very subtle changes to make her visibly show that she's been growing. She's not only growing as a person, she's growing physically as a hero. She's in much better shape now than she was. Just because she's got super strength with her steel fist and legs doesn't mean that she can't get in better shape. It's not just an instant cheat code for being in better shape. But let me. I just got a message from Mike. All right, thank you, Mike, for getting back with me. He's been him and Mindy have been very accommodating on this. I've had a lot of questions going into it, leading up to me working on it, making the campaign. And he's been very quick with responses and stuff, very helpful. So appreciate the Wheelers for that. Anyway, wanted to do a little bit of a funny thing here where she's getting crushed through building walls, and this border here. I wanted to get kind of creative with it, right? I wanted to get a little creative, and instead of showing like the walls bursting apart, she's actually just going through like the borders of the panels, which I think is pretty fun. Nomad says, anyway, I gotta get going. Stay tuned tomorrow on the Discord server because I'm going to tease a future project of mine. Oh, okay, cool. Avengers Doomsday? Okay. I am not looking forward to that movie at all. I have zero expectations for it to be good. I expect it to be horrible. But I expect it to have hype moments and aura. And it will get by as a Transformers movie. That's what I think it will do. I think it will get by as a Transformers movie. It will probably make them a lot of money. But it will not be good. That is my prediction going into it. Now, to continue to fight, after getting pushed through the building, V does a little bit of a double kick here from the floor, launches her through the ceiling, and reveals she's weak to sunlight. However, as established in previous shots, previous pages, the sun is setting. So V knows that there's not much time left. So she's running. She's getting out of there. The Frostbang. The Frostbangs were also something that was set up in Volume 2. Night Vision gave her some of these, as well as the radio that's used in this. And in many ways, Volume 6 is a pretty big follow-up to Volume 2. There's a lot of stuff that happens in between that's obviously important to follow the story, but it does close a lot of threads that Volume 2 opened. So, moving on. She gets caught. And, of course, Madame Yvette thinks that she's talking to Night Vision here. She has no reason not to think that because it's become pretty public and aware that Lil Miss Steel is Night Vision's daughter. Pretty obvious. And at this point, you got some questions like, why wouldn't they just send the Mighty Five down there? It's because imagine if Tyler Reno got turned into a zombie. That would be pretty unstoppable. Super Beast, another title of a Rob Zombie song. It's all over the place, man. It's all over the place. The Mrs. of Oz, Sharon Osbourne. I wanted to do a little tribute to Ozzy Osbourne. Rest in peace. And I thought this would be a fun way to do it because Sharon Osbourne was actually on The View, I believe. She was one of the hosts for The View. Terrible show, but I can't fault Sharon Osbourne for that. But yeah, I wanted to do a little bit of a spoof here. And by the way, this set is based off of the Joker Murray show, and I just thought that would be funny just to do that. Kind of give people who notice it a little bit of an ominous vibe, but just to throw people for a loop if they notice it. But yeah, Raymond is enjoying the limelight. He's enjoying the popularity now of coming out as power metal, and he's really getting the most out of that. He's getting a lot of good publicity. He's getting a lot of heat potentially taken off of him for the Miss Steele thing, and he's seen as a very heroic person now in the eyes of the public. However, of course, the readers know what's going on. No, he's the true bad guy. And now we figure out a little bit more about what his plans are. So some people might have gone through this and thinking, why not just kill Little Miss Steele? Why keep her alive, right? Well, the reason is he wanted to get a chance to get her blood so that he can do experiments with it with Miss Steele's blood. And it turns out that if you combine Little Miss Steele's and Miss Steele's blood, the human DNA gets erased and gets overridden by titanium DNA. Meaning that if Raymond can get Little Miss Steele captured, if he can get her, capture her as well, and inject some of her mother's blood into her, he can have two Miss Steeles to siphon the blood out of to make the Titanite, which powers his suits and whatever else he's cooking up in that skyscraper, right? And because of this, he's like, okay, I have to save her because I can't miss out on this deal. This is too good to lose. And then you get a scene in the warehouse here. Madame Yvette looking very scary. Did a lot of just different facial expressions for her doing this. Like a lot of just like sinister kind of vibes with her. She's almost like a horror monster. And I said horror, not whore. Anyway, she runs out here. She can turn to shadows. She goes under the floor and is about to kill whoever's outside, about to ambush him. But it turns out it's Lil Jon. So this is where the plot twist comes in. I'm sure a lot of people were not expecting this going into it. They probably started suspecting it once Lil Jon was starting to try and get V to drop the zombie case and just ignore it. They probably started getting suspicious about him then. But going into this comic, I'm sure a lot of people were not expecting this. Even if you remember the Volume 2 stuff, you still might not expect it to go this way with Lil Jon. For those of you who did, that's great, because that means my subtle foreshadowing worked. And Lil Jon reveals a lot about himself here. A lot of lore being dropped here between the two characters. It's not forced. It's not, exposition for the sake of exposition. All this stuff is very pertinent to the situation at hand. They're talking about, they're arguing about Yvette as a person, like what she's done, who she is, and why she's doing it. They're arguing about that. And you get a lot of information about Lil Jon's family life, his home life. He actually grew up in Louisiana. His dad was put in a wheelchair by Madame Yvette. And the reason why is because he sold her out. He gave away information that would allow her to eventually be defeated and brought in by the Mighty Five and imprisoned for so long. And because of that, she put him in a wheelchair. She basically just said, nah, you don't do that to me. And then because she got caught, now Lil Jon has no way of actually, having money to provide for himself. He's got nothing. So the ultimate selfish betrayal of what a mother should be, Madame Yvette is the exact opposite of that. And this is Lil Jon, yelling about that, because last time he saw her, he was a kid. Now he's almost a full-grown man, and he's got a lot of anger about that. He's got a lot of issues with her. and they're all coming out here. And she even admits to being a monster. She has no problem with being called a monster because she knows she is. She owns it. She's evil and she enjoys being evil. That's Madame Yvette right there. And you get some information like LeJohn even changed his accent, did everything he could to be the exact opposite of Madame Yvette, to be a good person. He did so much to try and not be her, and all of that brought him here, brought him with Little Miss Steele. And had he have not done this, chances are Little Miss Steele might have died here, because if he hadn't made friends with her and the other bandmates, this might not have ever happened. There might not be any story after this, and there might not have even been a story to begin with, if not for LeJohn being friends with V. And it's also why he's so understanding of V. His character, he's gone through so much that he recognizes when other people are in a tough spot with a parental figure, and V was in a rough spot with both of her parents, and is still kind of in an unshaky spot with Night Vision, but he recognizes that, and he can talk to her and say, hey, I know you don't like them right now, but you shouldn't hate them for it, because he's got a much worse parent in comparison. So that, it even explains all the way back in Volume 1. After reading Volume 6, if you go back and check out some of the dialogue, and it's just some of the things that LeJohn says and does, it starts to make even more sense now. He's not just a good guy. He's a good guy because he's trying to be the exact opposite of the most evil person in the world. In Little Miss Steele, I should say, the series, which will be Madame Yvette. So here's the reveal that that Raymond, his power metal, is trying to fend off Madame Yvette while LeJohn goes and rescues V, simply for selfish reasons. He even says he's not a hero. He's just, she's just interfering with one of his projects. Very in character for Raymond to do this. It's not a surprise at all if you've been reading and following along. And then you get this moment here, for a little bit of foreshadowing before this panel right here at the top left, with the rusty support beam here. It's completely just reddish brown right here where the chains are. So the breaking doesn't just come out of nowhere. It makes total sense. Also because it's a lot of chains, and two, V can steel herself up to make herself heavier. So she's probably trying to do that to break out of it, making it even more strain on this thing. So eventually LeJohn has to make a tough decision and jump over the fire to push V out of the way of it. And of course, it ends up saving her here. And with that, you get this little moment right here. Oh my, what's this? A little blush action going on? I kind of hinted at them eventually becoming a couple, even all the way back in Volume 1. But you could just look at that and say they're, best friends. You could look at it in that light. But yeah, they were kind of always destined to end up being a couple at some point. So this is kind of reigniting this volume right here. Also, I don't know if you can hear Butterbean, but she is going crazy over this story. She's going crazy. She's going nuts. But yeah, this power metal art, I drew this on the first Indie Comics Empire stream with One Gun. That was really fun. I really enjoyed doing these. I've been posting all the art to Twitter, and I just been really enjoying the process. It's fun. I get to talk with other talented creators, and we all just get to show off our talents and stuff. It's really fun. It's really cool to see different art styles and how, even though like one might have like more detail or more detail in the lines, more detail in the shading, or vice versa, all of our artwork is still good. All of our artwork is good and has different styles, specific styles that makes it all unique. It's very fun, and I really enjoyed that. Anyway, the power metal suit is a piece of junk compared to the death metal suit. Not to say that this suit is awful. This suit is definitely like it's a product of its time, which was the '80s. So back in the '80s, this suit was kicking. But today, 20 years later, that's not exactly working. By the way, the story takes place in 2002. If you were curious about me saying 20 years later, yeah. It's not 40 years later in the story. It's 20 years later. But yeah. So the suit's not really holding up too well. And at this point, he goes to Plan B, which is just to detach and detonate the arm. I always wanted to do this with Raymond because he is missing his left arm. I could play a lot with that idea, and have him just detach the arm, have it fly around and punch Little Miss Steel and fly her through the air for a while like it did in Volume 4. And then this moment right here is like showing that Raymond, despite going into this knowing that he's not the best prepared with his suit, he still has a plan for a last-ditch effort to try and kill her. Unfortunately for him, that's not enough to kill her because she has been juiced up with other people's soul energies. However, it did manage to stop her from phasing into shadow, and the reason why I had her emphasize this is because it shows that she can't just escape easily like that. She can't just avoid getting hit anymore. She has to actively be flying to try and avoid this stuff, or just trying to dodge it on the ground. And she cannot. She can't just become intangible or unintangible. English is hard. Anyway, at this point, V comes in and saves him. Also, I want to do a little bit of a creative border here and do like a little circle in the middle with these mirrored split shots here. Just wanted to do that. I thought that'd be cool. This shot is great. I love how this one turned out. The point of view making the fish look large and everything else gets kind of like smaller the farther down it goes. Like I think it turned out pretty good. So of course at this point, in character for Raymond still is to say, you know what? It would be great if I had two Miss Steels to drain the blood from and make Titanite with. But you know what? I would rather be alive and have one than be dead and have two. And not even have two because you would be dead anyway. Excuse me. So, yeah. He gets out of there. He nopes out of there. And V is still kind of drained. V is still tired. She's able to land this hit, but she's not at full strength after being drained of her soul still. Because remember, LeJohn had to help her walk out. So she's not full energy. She can get the hit off, but that's about it. LeJohn runs in saying like, "Hey, don't hurt her," and then she's basically saying she's gonna kill both of them. What a loving mother saying that she'll kill her son. And at this point, together is the magic word, because V's been trying to do like her mother does with just one hand, as shown in the flashback of Volume 4. She's been trying to just do it with one hand, but she's got half of her mother's power. So it takes both hands to do it. And in Volume 4, she does use both of her hands to do the light beam. But she didn't remember that, or didn't even think about that, for you to decide. And it only just now clicks together. Put both hands together, fire the light beam, and that's enough to drain the rest of the power out of Madame Yvette, which causes her to become gray and her hair turns white. So you get this final thing here. And this is one of my favorite moments of Little Miss Steel of all time at this point. Like, this is one of my favorite moments, one of my favorite sequences of pages. I think everything turned out really freaking great. And you get this moment where it almost feels remorseful, but LeJohn's like, nah, you ain't remorseful. You're just straight up evil. There is no redeeming you. There is no looking at it from a different angle. You are just evil. And because of that, he became the exact opposite and had something that she could never have, which is friends. And all of this is from Volume 1, by the way. All this is flashbacks to Volume 1. So if the artwork looks slightly bit worse, it's because this artwork is from 2023 and 4. So keep that in mind. But then we get this. This is what I'm talking about here. My favorite sequence, which is the third act breakdown, I guess you would say, of Madame Yvette here, where she started to crack and fall apart, and you can see it like each panel she gets more and more just crumbling apart. You got a little crack here, a little crack there, and then it's starting to spread. And then the next shot, her eye is completely blacked out, and she's starting to crack everywhere, including her hair. Don't question it. And then even as she's reaching out her hand to grab him, as her final act, even her hand is falling apart. She repeats the line, the folk tale, tale of horror you shan't forget, or become a victim of Madame Yvette. Voiced by Cree Summer in my head, by the way. And yeah, that is the end of her. She fades out and just dissolves into blackness. And LeJohn's like, wow, I'm lucky. She didn't have enough energy to kill me there. And at this point, him and V have a little bit of a heart-to-heart here. He tells her the truth. He comes completely clean about everything. And says he didn't want her to look at him like a monster like everyone back in Louisiana did. They just expected him to be the same person that his mother was. Whether or not he was showing that he had powers or not, which he didn't. And yet still, people looked at him like he was just going to end up just like her. And smooching. Oh crap! They do be smooching. They do be having a little bit of a moment here. This is obviously, you can look through the previous volumes and see where this has kind of been building up and totally see this coming. But it's fun. It's fun. It's a classic teen romance type of thing. There's not the love triangle drama that I hate and everything. I'm rewatching Daredevil season 2 and I hate the love triangle, bro. I hate it so much. Pain. But yeah. This is avoiding all of that, and that's something that I've done with almost all of my work, all of my works. I have not done love triangles. I have avoided them like the plague, and because it is a personal pet peeve of mine. I hate that trope. I think it can be written good, but most of the time it's just not. Most of the time it's always just frustrating to watch. Especially in Daredevil season 2. Despite the fact that the season's still pretty good, it just, it's a pain, man. It's a pain during those scenes. But yeah, they do be smooching. And Chester popping up. Am I interrupting a serious moment? As you recall on page 3, V asked him to be serious, and he's been serious the whole time. But visual gag here. V is an angry fire monster, and the next page, Chester has been reduced to a pile of ashes with eyeballs. A very Looney Tunes-esque. How does he reform and come back the next volume? Don't question it. It's just a visual gag. Don't think about it too hard. It's just for giggles. All right, and you get this last little haunting page here, where V's saying, I think we're more than okay, right, LeJohn? And doesn't look that way. Looks like there's some problems on the horizon. In the reflection of the mirror and on the murder machine, he sees red eyes, approaches it, sees his face, and then boom, the face of Madame Yvette flashes before his eyes in an instant. And it's up in the air what this means, and I'm not going to tell you what it means. You're going to have to stay tuned for Volume 7 to answer that, buddy. But yeah, so that's the big cliffhanger for the next volume. So that's it. Scan that QR code to follow me on everything. If you're watching this with your phone, I don't know. I guess you just got to figure out. How to do it. Gotten some reactions on this, like heart, funny, probably from the Chester moments. Mind blown. I think this is the heart eyes emoji, and the fear emoji. That's interesting. You know what? Now that I'm here, I kind of want to see what the other emojis are. I kind of want to see what's going on here. Let me actually see if I can go back. Volume 2, and let me see if I can hit previous, and it'll take me back to Volume 1. That's not the last page. There we go. Okay. There is some funny. There is some fear. There is some hard eyes. There is some mind blown. Love. 2 hearts. 3 likes. No negatives. No negatives. I like that. Let's keep that up. Let's see what people think of Volume 2. I'm a little nervous because this is live. You know, if there's bad reactions, I can't edit it out. Which I wouldn't edit it out anyway. 2 likes, 2 hearts. This actually has more emojis. A lot of the same. Still no bad. That's what I like to see. What did people think of Volume 3? Let me check out the emojis for that. I would say Volume 3 does have kind of a rushed ending. I'll admit that is a flaw of it. Again, nothing negative. A lot of good emoji reactions. I really like that. I've got a super fan who comments on like all of these, and I really appreciate him doing that, or her. Let's see what people think of Volume 4. Lots of hearts on this one. Holy, so many hearts. Yeah, man. It's all good. I love to see that. I'm curious to see what the Christmas one is. This is not even close to the end. What in the world? Why did it start me all the way out here? All right, here we go. A little bit less emojis on this one. I will say Volume 5 did not have as many views as the others. And I think part of that is because there's Marvel and DC and stuff on here now. It's less enticing to check out the indie section. But it is free. So, I mean, there's that. Yeah, still nothing negative. Let's read the Christmas one. Let's check out the reactions to this. Nothing. No one liked the Christmas special, which, you know what? Okay, valid. No one read the Christmas special. That's why. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this stream. I just wanted to talk about Volume 6 and go through some of the processes about, like, you know, behind the scenes and the art and the writing. I feel like I've been doing pretty good as far as setup and payoff. I feel like I've been doing that pretty well. I've even had dialogue callbacks in this last one, so I'm definitely trying to do a lot more of that kind of stuff because that's the kind of stuff that I like, and I try to replicate what I like, which is 2000s cartoons. So that's my major, you know, driving force for this is to replicate what I enjoyed growing up and what I want kids to enjoy growing up. Which, by the way, if I can pull something up real quick, I gotta show you this, man. Check this out. 2 new young fans of Little Miss Steele right here, reading it in front of a crime scene. I'm just kidding. This is a wrestling show, and yeah, I sell these at local events. This wrestling show being one of them, and it's fun. It's fun getting to see all these kids enjoying it. I always try and get a picture of them reading it, and it's really just it feels so great. It's the best feeling in the world, man. Whenever you see, especially kids, for this project, really enjoying this, because that means, you know, I'm succeeding at what I'm doing, what I've set out to do, which is provide, you know, something that feels like a kid's cartoon for the 2000s that can be enjoyed by all ages. And I feel like I'm succeeding with this. I feel like whenever I see kids reading this and enjoying it, it blesses me. It blesses me. But yeah, I've just been really loving this. I gotta put this on the Indie Crowdfund page, which, by the way, check that out. It's down right now because I gotta do something else to it. But it's coming soon. Stay tuned for that because I'm gonna be launching it pretty soon up in the coming weeks, and you can get your copy. I'm hoping to sell 100. Hoping to get at least 100 backers. I think that would be great. If not, I can try it on another platform. I can try it on Kickstarter. I can try it on Indiegogo, whatever. Like I'll try it a second time, and if it doesn't work, then I can just keep doing it for free, and I won't mind doing that. And I can just stick to selling it locally. Totally fine with that. Totally fine with doing that. I have no problem with doing things as they are right now. I have no issue. It would just be great if I could make some extra money. It would definitely keep the incentive going, right? Keep my motivation even higher than it already is. So that's basically all I got for this stream. Thanks for watching this one and not checking the one that I tried to do before this that doesn't exist. No one saw that, and I appreciate you for not seeing it. But thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to get notified. I'm going to be doing another like a shorter video explaining Indie Crowdfund and going over the pre-launch campaign page whenever I get that up. And yeah, stay tuned. So, till next time.